Assalamu alaikum and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today on our SMB Talks programs. As you know, that the SMB Talks is a great platform that will enable us to stay connected and also keep our dialogues with our market expertise from different verticals and different segments. We have all lived the situation. We have all knows that the current crisis forced us to live in an exceptional times. The current situations had affected many businesses from different levels. Not only that, it has also changed our social life, whether the social life with our families, friends, or even our business colleagues. We also do understand that the severity of the situation and how this has badly affected the business. However, it's a shared responsibility for all of us, is how we can work together, collaborate, and overcome the crisis. Most business trying their best to navigate and pass the challenges they face. Through this platform, the SMB Talk series, what we are aiming for is to be the partner with our clients, where we can work together and overcome the situation and recover soon. The SMB Talks it's enabling us to have an open dialogue, sharing experience across different verticals and also different segments. Every aspect of the talks through the series will feature a conversation with an expert from different industries verticals, in the hope that the business will find a value and also gain a knowledge on how successful they can go through the situations. In a moment, we will have an expert from Dubai Refreshment company, Mr. Anas. Who will share with us his expertise and also his insights about the current situation. So please welcome with me Mr. Anas from Dubai Refreshment company. Assalamu alaikum, Anas.
Alaikum salam.
Thank you very much. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Anas, for joining us today at the SMB Talks. It's our pleasure of having you here, and also thank you for taking a slot of your busy scheduled times of attending the SMB series. We do appreciate, and we also do thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And as we all do and we all understand the current crisis due to the COVID-19, the COVID-19 has affected badly the businesses. Some businesses have been shut down, some businesses have been downsizing and has been affected their activities and have affected also their daily work. It's abnormal, which has suddenly happened starting, let's say, end of last year. But as UAE is starting from March, it was a big series or a big crisis took place on the economies. So as an expert in the market, Mr. Anas, I need to understand how this crisis has impacted your company as Dubai Refreshment.
As you know, Dubai Refreshment we are the bottler of Pepsi in the region, in the UAE, and we are, of course, get affected by this crisis like other companies. The effect happened in some sectors of our business, not all, and thank God for that. We have, of course, the connection with all our customers and to understand their needs and try to solve whatever problems or whatever obstacles on the distribution side to make sure that our products availability in each customer what we deal with. But for some reason, some big customers like the airlines, like Global Village, like hotels business and restaurants, all these businesses get affected by the crisis and they stop buying or reduce their buying. So that has a good impact on our business. And that also it's bring new opportunities in other areas where we feel it's where we notice that it's growing substantially high in supermarkets and hypermarkets, in home delivery business, in e-commerce areas where the Noon and Amazon, which is soup, is booming in those in these fields and in this time, and that's what actually it give us some compensation of what loss we did or what we had in the past with the other companies. With other customers. So in general, we are good relatively compared to others. As an FMCG industry, I believe it did not have big impact in the region because people still need to eat and drink. And that's what was the drive. People are sitting at home and doing little of efforts and work, but they still need to have their main needs, water, the products which is we distribute and we sell, like Pepsi, 7-Up, and all other brands, what we have under our umbrella. And that's what was in general, the impact of this crisis on us. That's it.
Very good. Anas, I do and understand that during the crisis that we have lots of lessons we have learned during this crisis. And I'm sure also as a Pepsi and Dubai Refreshments, they had so many successful initiatives. Maybe either they used to have it and they have improved it, or they have created new initiatives during this crisis. Would you please elaborate from your perspective, from your expertise as directors on Dubai Refreshments, what do we have learned during this crisis, and what are the initiatives Dubai Refreshments has implemented during the crisis?
As a technology, as I'm heading the department in IT and communication within all our user environment, we had to jump to immediate needs to have a remote use of our services from the home or from outside the network of our company, and that was the beginning and the challenge. But in fast pace, because we have invested previously with the cloud solutions in many areas, and we had already the tool in our hands to enable connecting from outside our company or our network. So it was not difficult for us to immediately switch on that features and start pushing kind of a learning tactics on the users, how to use this technology more effectively, and to deploy it in very short time to make it happen. And that was the major challenge, but we could overcome this within 1 week, in timeline, when the government take a decision that should be have 30% only in the capacity of the company should be in own place to do the production, because as manufacturing and distribution we cannot work 100% remotely, but a lot of jobs which can be done remotely, we started deploying there with a remote kind of a connectivity, which is allow them to utilize the technology to connect to our services and continue working as if they are in the office. And that's was successfully done using, as I told you, we have an Office 365 from Microsoft, which has a lot of tools, which is allowing the collaboration and allowing the communication. And we had, of course, a lot of technology, which is allowing us to access our ERP system from outside and allow them to do all the transaction as if normal, as if they are in the office. So we could overcome all these problems in very short period with less. We sense it, to be honest with you, since we started this problem. So we sense that this is going to happen, and we were prepared to it. So we did not face any major challenge, to make it happen.
Okay, Anas, I can feel it from your talks on regarding the cloud, the user, and the office, that there are lots of changes the Pepsi has taking place on their companies. So would you please just elaborate more on what are the changes did you take and that will become a permanent? new things or a new change has taken place during the crisis, and you think that it needs to stay and needs to be as a permanent?
It's a good question, because we had a lot of, as I told you in the past, tools which is available in the desktop or laptop of every single users, but it was not being utilized in its efficient way. Now we notice that, like for example, Microsoft Teams, one of the tools which is we have adopted very efficiently, and it's a tool of collaboration and presentation of allowing every group of people, especially the department head and their team, to collaborate and share their files, because we're using SharePoints also in the cloud. So a lot of features start being utilized more efficient. That's from efficiency of those tools. We had implemented also the digital signature in some places where now we avoid the paper. So I think this is going to stay forever. People will, it's a kind of a difficult change of mind, like to make a change happen, to people avoid signature on paper. And that's especially on the internal documents.
Something new.
The digital signature, that's also, in very short time, it changed the perception. And they found it, okay, where we were living, why we did not use it before, So it started become a practice, and it started become also the way how we attend, how we track our activities. We have some tools we have acquired also. It's cloud-based tools where we could also track the attendance of the people digitally, like online, and plus track their daily activity. So we have some people like in sales, we are tracking like visiting customers, what they have done with the customers. So all these things which changed because of the crisis, I believe it's going to stay and going to be very beneficial to the business.
Regarding the signature, was it available before and it was never used by the user? It was something new implemented?
Some of them it's a new implemented, and we were pushing to it. Some of them, no, it was exist, but it was never utilized or utilized for a very small percentage.
Exactly. I mean, there are sometimes changes on the user which they have to adapt, and also they have to get used to it. But also,
and how much you give them a training, and push to that tools, they will not, because they don't feel the need, But after time, with these problems, they say, why you didn't have it before?
Because they see the easy way. I mean, the easy way to do it is much faster than the normal way. Absolutely right. And as you mentioned, there are some changes which took place on the users, on the way we are managing our daily work and our customers. And also there is a changes might happen on the industry level itself. So from Dubai Refreshments, what are the major changes you see in your industries, or new opportunities you believe that could be arising?
Yeah. As I told you, the e-commerce is booming in these times of crisis. And this is for us, to be honest with you, and the business is an open eye, because this has given us a kind of a highlight on where the business is of the distribution and supply chain is going. The traditional way of distributing goods and foods is changing, and it hit very heavily, on the region, on the UAE especially. So what we are looking at now from the business, and we were working with with some partner to develop an application for Android and Apple, and of course web-based, to enable our partner, which is the customer, to communicate to us live, to put their orders and track their orders. They can see where the shipment is, where the stock are, is it in the way, where it is in the way, where the truck, when expected to arrive. So a lot of information and collaboration we're talking about that tools and the development. When the crisis happened, the business pushed up to deploy the same app or similar to it on an e-commerce platform to the end consumer. And that's what we are developing now. And we are almost on the end of, on the last phase, before we are in the final stage of testing it. And we will release it very soon, and going to be available in the market for all consumers. It is a home delivery app. It is an e-commerce platform, which is allowing the consumer themselves to check their shopping cart, they check their items that's available under Dubai Refreshment, and they can place an order themselves. And they will have a track with the Google map of the location, or where the driver is, where their goods will be arrived, when will arrive. And it's been integrated also with our SAP system, with our backend system in ERP, that allow to track the reservation, the stock availability tracking, and all this, and plus the invoicing, the billing, and all that. In the same time, we are developing also the e-commerce, the online payment to be available in the app. So this both are new things. It's never been before, but being pushed now by the business to have it, to make it happen. And within 2 months, I believe we are going live now, which is something which is very, encouraging. It's not
exactly.
that easy, but we are trying to make it.
Exactly. The e-commerce, I can see it and I can feel it. It became the major platforms where most of the business now are focusing and trying to go with it. Personally, for example, now, after the lockdowns, after the also reluctant of going to the physical shops, I always look for the solution which is available online.
That's
imagine
correct.
even my kids now. Stop. Especially with the current situation, stop going to the restaurants, stop going to the coffee shops, stop going to the groceries. But they have found a way, which is the online. Even small things, you can go online and buy it.
That's correct. And now the more efficient way of reaching the goods to the customer and most fast way, it's who's going to gain the market. Especially, you cannot wait expecting next week to get, to put your order and next week to get it. It's impossible. So that's the reason now it's very good opportunity for us to get in that field, and we have fast delivery, we have reach everywhere. So already we have the supply chain capability, and I believe we could make it happen. Only the technology has to provide us with that hand.
So Anas, going to the e-commerce and going to the online payment, whether it's from the desktop or the mobile apps, needs a clear roadmap. So Dubai Refreshment has set a clear roadmaps how to reach to that to the level or to that next stage of going e-commerce, online, mobile apps, payments.
That's true. Now we are working with multi-strategical approaches. It was part of our strategy to have a credit card payment with the shop owners, for the customers to be able to collect money by credit card. So this one of the project is going to be launched also next month. With the e-commerce platform, what we are building it up. So this is coming for coming months. We'll be focusing on perfecting it to make it the platform allowing other product to be adopted to the same platform. So because we have a partner with some other brand other than Pepsi, as a Dubai Refreshment, we are a local company, so we have the leverage to distribute other products which is under our umbrella. And that's what we're going to add it to the platform in a gradual way, where it will be available on the platform, where allow the customer and the consumer to choose the way and what type of product he would like to have from us. And I believe that's also going to be more focused on and going to be growing. At the same time, we are working on technology, on IoT technology more effectively. Now we have connected all our vending, as you noticed in my signature. I am focusing also on the smart technology on the vending area, where we are connecting all our vending machine with the smart technology, giving us the capability to visualize the stock inside the machine, to be able to replenish the machine on time without the need to know it's out of sale or out of stock. We will be able to know the collection, how much the machine is being collected in cash and all. So this is a lot of capabilities, a lot of in the vending business also. It's we are focusing on, and it's kind of a game changer in the market, because none of the people who's working on vending, they have the same capability, and we believe also the business will be focused more on this IoT technology. I believe it's going to deliver a lot of value to our business coming months, and the result will start coming up.
And you see that the consumer or the customers adopting the changes will be smoothly, will be easy. Or how do you see it?
Yeah, because of the crisis also, the consumers, I believe the popularity of our platform, for example, in the beginning will be not there, and that will take time to build up the knowledge and with the customer. Reaching the customer with the help of social media and advertisement, that's what we are going to focus on. to make it to reach the popularity, to make it happen, to be known by the consumer. Plus, our vending business, as I told you, it's a kind of a machine under every place where it allows people with no human interaction to reach your product without the need to wait or to go for queues or to meet people to take deliveries. So this is, I think, it's going to grow, and we are going to expand the variety of products. So we most probably are going to go on fresh products, more about salad and sandwiches, where you don't need to go to a supermarket or restaurant. You'll hire under your house,
click
a machine to get your salad. Yeah. So this is also it's a new areas we feel it's potential for our customer and going to improve.
Okay. Unless if you allow me, if I ask you to select what are the 3 or 4 top priorities that your business will be focusing on in the coming 12 to 8 months, what would be those priorities, 3 or 4 priorities?
I think cloud is, from technology perspective, if you are talking about, we are going to focus on cloud more adoption, because we feel that, it give us the resilience, because give us the flexibility and the availability of technology. We are going to diversify our cloud investment, so to not be with one vendor. So we're going to have multi-vendor, kind of multi-cloud solutions from different places, and that give us, capabilities, comparison, and able to have failover from one cloud to another. So there is a lot of focus on that area. This is one. Second is we're going to focus on IoT technology, and I think artificial intelligence is one of the areas which we feel also it's a kind of going to add value to our business, especially the adoption to the changes when it happens. We need to have responsive systems.
Absolutely right. And let's back again to the change. I mean, the change could happen to our users. The change could happen to our customers. Do you also, as Dubai Refreshment, expect changes also in your supplier ecosystems?
Well, as distributors, because we are distributing some of the brands, some of products from Egypt, and some of the raw material we are getting from outside. But most of our raw material for production is local. So that's the good things about it. And all those suppliers, what we deal with, are big reputed manufacturers, like for sugar or aluminium or glass or any of those materials that we require in our production. Having strong companies behind us, that gives us the comfort that the availability of the raw material should be there when we do the production. And we did not have a challenge, to be honest with you, with the distribution or with their stock availability, because they are part of the food and beverage industry, which is the government allowed to keep functioning. And yes, thank God, like our suppliers are in good positions, and we did not have any challenges with that.
Very good. And what about the agility? Do you see that the agility or the speed of executions is considered as a competitive advantage?
Yeah, of course. As I told you, those are big suppliers that we are dealing with, and they are in the market for not only for UAE, they supply product for all the region, I believe. So their execution is just quite good, and the availability of those stock and the supply chains, they did not stop. So we did not face, and we were predicting some of closure in our business. So we were preparing to have early production of some of the items before, and we slowed down in the crisis. Like we slowed down in the month of March and April. But without the help of our supplier, we could not accelerate the production to that level, where we have a stock enough for coming 2 months, where we have a slowdown in our production. So I believe it's the agilities and the flexibility with our suppliers. The ecosystem is working fine from our side.
And as you mentioned regarding the e-commerce and the online platforms and the online payments, is there any other plan also to accelerate other digital solutions in your companies? We may look for most probably, after 1 year, I'm planning to move the ERP system, the full, backend system, which we are running on, to the cloud. And that's a big change for us, to be honest with you. And it needs a lot of preparation. That will be also strategically, it will be going to happen
in addition to what are the short-term investment in technology.
So shall we say that the moving the ERP into the cloud would be the most necessary investment that you are planning to create it within the companies?
It's huge, yeah. It's because it is allowing us to, as I told you, to give us the availability and the resilience of the systems without the have dependencies. Because what happened, on the crisis, if my supplier of my data center, because I built up a tier 3 data center, a certified tier 3 data center, one of the top.
In-house? It's in-house data center, right?
Yeah, and it is hosting our ERP system now. This data center, I had a challenge, if there's a problem, I was thinking if there's a problem and I need for example, spare parts or anything to the supplier or the partner who's supporting the hardware to come and install it. So he will not be able to cut in the road because he's not authorized to get in on the street. So how we will be able to support the data center in case of crisis happen for the data center. And I have disaster recovery. I have, something need to be activated, and you need people on the ground. So a lot of the challenges, or thoughts come in front of me when this crisis happened. And we thought that I think it's the right investment. We have to start thinking and working on to move the things to the cloud and utilize the technology. Cloud is going to be more and more adopted in this region, I believe, and it will become like electricity. You don't need to think from where the electricity is coming. You don't need to generate near your house. You just plug. You have a plug. You plug the cable, and you get the electricity. Same thing here will be. The cloud is going to be the future, I believe. It's not going to be any more commodity.
Is there any backup for the in-house data center, or it's only the main?
Yeah, we do a kind of disaster recovery policies and procedures, where we do also a physical tape backup to another site in the region on a daily basis. So we try to take all the precautions. We are as a public company, we have to follow a lot of standards, and because under the umbrella of Pepsi also, we have to follow a lot of procedure, which is protecting the company and the investors, of course, and the assets of the company. Especially the data is more important things, when it comes to businesses.
Anas, I do understand that you're busy, but I have only one last question I need to ask us. Anas, how can technology providers, as Etisalat also, and Anas, can support you on this? I mean, which technology do you think that we will be focusing on?
Yeah, always Etisalat is our preferable partner. And the team, I think they know me very well. We try to approach Etisalat for every new initiatives we take, and we see what they have before we jump directly to that technology. So we are working now with them in a couple of areas. We are signing a contract to have new devices, which is going to be utilized for a credit card. It's integrated with our mobile apps, what we carry with our salespeople. So when we do for example, go to the customer and we do the invoicing in our system, the communication happen automatically with the Etisalat device, the credit card device, and we had to develop with them some program which is allowing us to execute the transaction, get the confirmation, the approval of the credit card transaction, and print it in our invoice in the same time. So without the knowledge and the capability of Etisalat team, we could not do it. Especially, I don't want to go with the execution of standalone device. Like you go with a standalone device credit card, go and scan customer card, and then you go and enter it in your system that this is the reference number and this is the amount which is I collected. I need to avoid any fraud or any problem could happen because of this type of transaction. We introduce it to the business, and that's where we could successfully done it. And now we are almost there, and we are signing the contract with Etisalat on it. We are looking also at Etisalat about cloud solutions implementation, couple of now with Microsoft being available in the market here with their data center managed by Etisalat. So I think a lot of business is going to happen together, and I believe Etisalat is the right bit.
Inshallah, we'll be there also collaborations, and we'll also be there to support you and support all our companies also to overcome this crisis. Anas, once again, I do appreciate your timings. Thank you very much for joining us today at the SMB Talk series. Thanks also for sharing your expertise and sharing your insights about how we can together overcome this crisis. Thank you very much, Anas, and appreciate your time.
Thank you, Esam. Thank you for your time. Thank you.